Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another game of round 2 in the Six Nations. This one, England taking on the Welsh. Now, we have just seen what many would call a very controversial end to the last contest between France and Scotland. This is the way that the table sat beforehand. Now, Scotland, they have moved up to second, and France, they are sitting there on the 4 points. But England in this contest, they want to make it 2 from 2. Themselves a little bit closer to first place. Of course, the door is now wide open for the Irish to take a little bit of a drastic lead depending on the result of this one between the two sides. But looking through at the starting lineups for these two teams, they are going to be as follows. For the English, they haven't gone with too many changes overall in their lineup. In fact, I believe they've gone with the identical 15 to what they did have in their last contest, but it will be Joe Marler at number 1, Jamie George at 2, and Will Stewart slotting in as number 3, Maro Itoje and Ollie Chisholm. They will be the 4 and 5, Ethan Roots, Sam Underhill, and Ben Earl there as the number 8. Alex Mitchell and George Ford, a combination that didn't seem to work too badly up against the Italians last week, although we do need to mention Italy still were able to really compete well up against the English. And their last minute thriller, Dingwall and Slade. And the midfield combo, Elliot Daly, Tommy Freeman, and Freddie Stewart there at number 15. Then for the Welsh, they will be as follows. Gareth Thomas at number 1, Elliot D, and Kieran Azarati at number 3. Daff Jenkins and Adam Beard. Now for Daff Jenkins, even though he's one of the younger players out there on the field, he didn't seem to do too badly. Hello everyone, I'm still here, kind of. Alright, I'm on the screen. Oh, it's kind of doing it. Unfortunately, the Wi-Fi has once again stopped in this one, but we've got the lineup next to me. We are still going to be going through them. For the Welsh loose forward trio will be Alex Mann, also Tommy Reffel and Aaron Wainwright. Then in the back line, Thomas Williams at number 9, Owen Lloyd at 10, Rio Dyer at number 11, Nick Tompkins and George North are going to be there in the midfield, Josh Adams, and then also Cameron Winnett, who I felt didn't do too badly in the last contest. We're quickly going to go like this. Hello, everyone. It looks a bit weird, I'll be honest. We've still actually got Murrayfield in the background, but once again, the Wi-Fi has cut out. I'm on data at the moment on my phone, just so that this keeps on running while the stream is not. But yeah, I hope you guys are all doing well. In the comments, I can read them on my phone. Your face not visible. Not a bad thing, some would say. We've got, did somebody forget to feed the gerbils? It seems like they did. Because unfortunately, the Wi-Fi has been very shocking throughout the evening. Hopefully it doesn't cut out again. But I can't guarantee it. I don't know why that's back. I didn't press that button. But we'll switch back over to the other device now. So hopefully it runs smoothly. Hello, ladies and gents. I am back. We will go like this and like this. And we have got there, we have got by 5 or by a cable. Fun fact, I'm actually connected directly through the Wi-Fi. So the fact that it is cutting out when I'm in here with it plugged in is quite concerning. Fix the router to fix, or restart the router to fix it. Fun fact, I already did today, earlier on. So, yeah, not ideal. In that regard, the gerbils have eaten the cable, says Leslie. And I got says Fionn in there as well. I think that it's World Rugby. I think they're trying to stop me from saying about that last-minute Scotland versus France decision. But looking through at the reserves, Theo Dan, Alice Genge, and Dan Cole will be the front row replacements. Cole's at number 19 with Cunningham himself, who I felt didn't do too badly off the bench in the last fixture. Danny Kerr, Finn Smith at 22, and Fi Waiboso at number 23. For Wales, it is Ellis, Dumachowski, and Griffin, Will Rowlands, and Tane Basham. So a lot of physicality between those two to come off the bench for the Welsh. Kieran Hardy, Kai Evans, and also Grady there to close out their 23. Are you not on Wi-Fi if you have Ethernet? Says, I am nutty. Well, I apologise, nutty, but it's just what I say it is. I could say that it is like Ethernet, but people just know what Wi-Fi is a bit better. Is it American football, bro? Says Saline. No, this one, it is rugby that we are going to be covering for this one. It was France's game. Says Leslie. I mean, I said it from the get-go. Like, France, to win that game, they've done extremely well because they did have to dig deep throughout that fixture, but it is hard to deny that that last one was a try for the Scottish. And I think the fact that Nick Berry was willing to overturn his decision and then the Irish TMO said, hang on, how is this going to be a little bit easier for Ireland in the Six Nations? We'll make sure it's a no try. And that's all the Kiwis secretly watching the Six Nations slow on the Wi-Fi. Says Jimbo, I thought World Rugby had taken you down. I was trying to figure out who to yell at. Says Gus. And there was, oh, nah, it's just the Wi-Fi. Unfortunately, it has cut out multiple times throughout the last little while. Looks like they are about to make their way onto the field. TMO last match, Scotland versus France was annoying. Says Fionn. And there as well. Jamie George knows the importance of this game for the English. They need more cameras for this reason. Says Mr. Fantastic AJ. I think the biggest problem was, I thought from the camera angles we had, there was clear conclusive evidence that that ball had been grounded. But the only person who wasn't convinced of said grounding was the TMO. I watched the ref screw England, and still good quality coming from mobile data. Says Coding. I know that my mobile data bill's going to be huge. More than likely, I might end up running out of data at some point, so that will be interesting. See what happens there, but hopefully we're all good for the rest of the match. Gotta love the Six Nations so much better than Super Rugby, says Paul Howard. I mean, it's good, don't get me wrong, but that last decision still makes me a little bit concerned about what the TMOs are going to do in the future game. It looks best, especially, or it looks bad, especially because of the audio decision by both sides. Says McCall. The national anthems now, says Fionn. Yep, both sides out on the field at Twickenham. Nice big crowd in attendance for this match. Just watching this competition makes sense. I think no, after this disgusting French robbery, was a clear try of Scotland, says Gianpaolo. Yeah, it's a shame, to be honest. Like, I felt like the Six Nations so far, refereeing-wise, we've done pretty good. That makes me concerned. Just that little bit more. National anthems. The Welsh, of course, going to be the away side for this game. Last match they did have at the Principality Stadium. They were able to get themselves a losing bonus point, keeping them in the hunt. Of course, these are the three games that we saw in the first round of the Six Nations. England 27 points to the 24 of the Italians, and then Wales 26 to the 27 of Scotland were able to get themselves the win as well. And also we have got there Root Coley, Sandpaper Smith, 3 centuries, Captain Cool 2.0, Cam Williamson 5 centuries in the last few from 1 year. Carl Dixon always sucks as a ref. And I'm going to sue all rugby people that don't call out the corruption. And rugby always has controversy, says Mr. Fantastic AJ. And also, let's go Wales, says McCall. And Welsh anthem now, says Fionn, it certainly is. And away from home, I feel like there's still quite a few Welsh supporters in attendance, which is great to see, of course. I want to see as much support for the away sides as we can throughout the Six Nations competition. The French fans at Murrayfield were loud. They were singing proud throughout those final moments of their fixture, but we have seen only one game separated by more than 7 points throughout this contest so far, throughout this competition so far. In fact, only one game separated by more than 5 points, that being Ireland when they went head-to-head with France, winning it by 21 points. Yes, another week, another controversial TMO call. Some things never change with this sport. So here's a razor there as well. Only a 4-hour drive to London from Wales, says Mr. Fantastic AJ. So yeah, I believe quite a few people would have made the trip over, definitely because they saw what kind of impact it had on Wales' second half up against the Scottish when they had the crowd behind them. That was really when they started stepping up. Wales 30 to the Poms 10. Oh, I don't know about that. I feel like it's going to be a little bit closer than that, I would say. I am still back in England to get the win. And English anthem now, says Fionn. And there will be sure not to spoil the action because it does seem like you are a little bit ahead. So if you can avoid it, try not to say when the tries do take place. Just so that we are able to enjoy it as well. I'm predicting Italy beating France, says Jimbo, and support England, says Ikash there. I'll be honest, it's extremely hard to know where France are at the moment in terms of their level because they have moments where you're like, okay, they're good. You know, Belbari, when he was able to go with that little kick in behind, but like it just didn't really flow for them again today, unfortunately for the French. And last week they didn't really do too great. England handicap, good bet, says Bavani. The crowd singing God Save the King. Same with the English. This is their first home game of 2024. They want to make the most of France. Like leadership, they just seem lost at times, just doing what they know. Now, Jamie George be taking the young man off the field. Pre-match ad breaks, says Fionn. And France as a unit area, or a unit, 6/10 of the best in 2022-2023. Like they are showing an unchanged English starting lineup for this match with Marler, George, and Stewart in the front row. Atoje and Chisholm in the second. And then it will be Roots, Underhill, and Earl as the loose forward trio. For the back line of the English, it is Mitchell and Ford as the 19 combo. Dingwall and Slade in the midfield. And Daly, Freeman and Stewart adding pace and also some skill under the high ball at the back. And France got the job done, got the money, says Bavani. For the Welsh, 7 changes in the starting lineup. Gareth Thomas, D, and also Azarati, the front row. Jenkins as the captain and Beard as the locks. And then Mann, Reffel, and Wainwright in the loose forward trio. Thomas, Williams, and Lloyd as the 19. That is due to the Costello injury. Tompkins and North back in the midfield for the first time in the Six Nations. Dyer, Adams, and Winnett as the back 3. We have got there, why am I awake, says Tony. It is a great question, but hope you are enjoying your morning so far. The Welsh ain't winning nothing, says Psychotics. A bit early in the morning for you this weekend, says Leslie. And I'm back in the English today, says Bourne, and Wales need to be careful with the kicking game. England have too many threats, says Mr. Fantastic AJ. Normally, Freddie Stewart is extremely strong under the high ball, of course. James Dolman, though, the referee in charge of this matchup. It will be Brett Cronin in charge of the TMO. Ben O'Keefe, Holly Davison, and Brendan Pickerel will be... Why do they have 3 other referees listed there? We've got 5 refs for this game, it would seem. Apologies in advance for the quality of these 2 teams. I think it's going to be a great game, and I hope it is after the last one that we did see. It was controversy, of course, for the finish of that contest. Oh, is my camera cutting out? It's trying to, by the looks of it. An early red for head contact, says Jimbo, and we are now underway, ladies and gentlemen, for Wales versus England. Streams throughout the night, I think, are going to have a lot of technical difficulties, but hopefully you can still hear me okay, even though I am in a stop-motion movie. But Wales have got this ball inside. Looks like Ben Earl may have already got a cut on top of his head. Less than 7 points to decide it. Says, I am nutty. Now Thomas Williams kicking it downfield, nicely taken there near the touchline for Freddie Stewart. Oh, straight through the gap for Freddie Stewart. He's just slipped over himself, though. Unfortunately, was on fire towards the try line. Now out their back line. Sam Underhill with the big bump off there. And try almost for England, says Fjorn. Like I said, be sure not to spoil the action or else you will find yourself probably timed out for the important moments of the game. Now going off to the left-hand side. Elliot Daly stepping through. But doesn't make it too far forward. Oh, we're back. Okay, for some reason when I move my mouse, it stopped working. But now hopefully we aren't as freezy as we once were. Now George Ford going across to Ollie Chisholm. They're still inside of the 22 here for England. 1 minute 20 in. Some nice phases being put together. They are now up to 7. Now going for the cross kick from George Ford. Gets it high and wide, but it's taken at the back by Rio Dyer. Now, I'm not sure if he called the mark. No, I don't think he did. Oh, no, he's saying he called the mark. And James Dolman says he did too. He been choppy a bit there. Says Gus, yeah, unfortunately the Wi-Fi's not working. The PC's starting to give way as well. But hopefully we last throughout the rest of this match. I should mention we have got 2 live streams tomorrow night as well, ladies and gentlemen. That will be taking place. One of which being Australia versus West Indies in the T20. They'll be starting from 9 p.m. New Zealand time. And then alongside that we have also got the Ireland versus Italy game of the Six Nations. That will be taking place, but good attacking run forward there for Ethan Roots. They are still 5 metres out here. The English hate that Elliot Daly. Oh, I hate that Elliot Daly is in the lineup. That penalty goes the way of Wales, though, in the breakdown. No clear release. Now they've got the chance to just slow this down here. Wales look for the touchline. You got internet issues. In Fairfield, says Robert. Which is not ideal. Definitely not while you are streaming. Like video-wise, if you have bad internet, it's alright because you can just wait a little bit longer or upload it slowly. Streaming, if the Wi-Fi gives out, you're kind of just at the mercy of it coming back. No internet issues in Quebec, says Razor Robinson. And also we have got there in the chat line out England, says Fjorn. And now it's going to be thrown in by Wales, who did have the line out here. Back across. Nice looping around play. I believe they will go for a kick here very soon. That looked very close to Ollie Chisholm being offside. Yep, there we go. Or it wasn't actually him, though. I believe they've actually called it as Maro Itoje, the man who was offside. They've gone for the chip in behind, and it will go back now for another penalty in favour of Wales. I predicted France to win, but clearly Scotland was robbed. Just more proof that the twos, or the TMOs, all over are crooked, says Johan. And I'll be honest, like, of course, nationality shouldn't come into it, but it did look worse with the fact that the TMO was Irish, only because it's been talked about as the possibility that final game between Ireland and Scotland being the decider in the Six Nations. But, yeah, just... you know, it wasn't good because Nick Berry, he was like, yep, I'm happy to overturn my original decision. TMO said, let me look at this 15 more times. Nah, we won't overturn it. We'll leave it as a no try. On the halfway line now, Thomas Williams on across to Lloyd. A chance for him in the starting side. He did get quite a few minutes in the Wales versus Scotland game. That was due to the injury that we did see a Sam Costello, who did take the head knock, missing from this match. Driving tackle there in the midfield from Dingwall, a man who we hardly saw last week for the English, but wants a big game here. Close to the touchline, well cleaned up by Tommy Freeman, lined up early by North. Great quick hands out to Alex Mitchell, who goes for the chip in behind. Wales have cover and they have managed to take it nicely. With, I believe it was actually Owen Lloyd who was at the back. And all the TMO senior refs, I believe so. We have got there, England are the only team that get punished for offside. And did you catch the Netflix doco, Hamish? Did you manage to finish it? I got 6 out of 8 episodes in. Then got bored, says Razor. I haven't actually had a chance to watch it yet, unfortunately. Freddie Stewart now going across. Space opening up Elliot Daly, who goes for the grubber in behind. And Adams just watches that ball into touch. What nationality TMO rugby is not like that. Whether the decision is right or not. says, and they're from Robbie, and wrong spelling, sorry, says Robbie, it's all good. And Bias says, I am nutty. If not their bias, it is the potential of bias being a factor. Says, I am nutty. Now 5 metres out from their own line, Wales are going to be going with their rolling maul. Only roll maybe about 2 centimetres though, so they had to get rid of that pretty quick. Moving to 10 metres out from their own line. Nice work from Alex Mann to just make them a few extra metres, and kicked into touch from Thomas Williams. This game's been played at quite a fast pace, already 6.5 minutes through it. And it will continue to go quick. The rest, Fionn Gamer thinks that he is doing the commentary, but that's all right. And evening, Hamish. Thoughts on poaching Tony Brown? Should the All Blacks be concerned? They have what it takes to nullify Brown's tactics. The thing is, the Highlanders with Brown, yes, they had some good moments, but still overall, it didn't light the world on fire for them. So it will be interesting to see how he does as one of the Bok coaches. I hope he does well, but yeah, it will be very interesting whether or not he can really help them out in that regard. And Robbie Krampus is our own board provocateur. You'll get used to him, says Jimbo. His thoughts? Oh no, I read that one, didn't I? Now 10 metres out from the 22, George Ford goes for the grubber and behind, and it does go into touch. Now only 5 metres out from the line. Currently, England playing a very territory-dominated game, trying to force Wales back to make the error. So far, Wales are handling it not too badly, but I don't want to be stuck there for too long. And blue balls look good, says Badman. Now it's going to be another line out for the Welsh. Nicely taken by Elliot D, or off Elliot D's line out by Duff Jenkins. Will Stewart just making sure he is allowed to stay in there, although that did look like he sacked that one. But that is going to become a scrum feed now for the English. 10 metres out. Scrum England put in, says Vion. 8 minutes into this contest already. There's going to be the white scrum. England's rolling maul defence held up there. Will be the first scrum of the game. It took quite a while for us to see a scrum throughout the France versus Scotland game. How do you know how my balls are? Says, I am nutty. Jamie George, the captain for the first time. Chance here for him. Who was captain last week for the English? Because they didn't make any changes. Was it George? No, George Ford wasn't. Who was Henry Slade? I think he was a co-captain, wasn't he? A terrible maul, says Jimbo. Now 5 metres out from the line, Alex Mitchell will be able to feed this ball. And it was quite a risky tactic for the Welsh trying to use their maul only a few metres out. That is once again going down. It's like we saw in the last game, so we will have another scrum reset. Now it is overcast conditions for this matchup, but the rain should be staying away by the sounds of it, which is great news. Genge. So, was it Alice Genge as the skipper? And Bulls will win the URC, said Batman. Ten minutes in. I like fair competition, says Krampus. And this will be a massive test here for Wales. Just out from their own line, defence. Up against the Scottish, it wasn't terrible in terms of the tackle percentage. It's gone down the front row again, but they have been told to use it now. Alex Mitchell, short ball to Slade. He has knocked it on now. Ewan Lloyd will be able to go across to Rio Dyer. Starting to show off his pace. Never looked like passing that ball. Moves to 25 metres out though. And the advantage is over for the knock-on, Aaron Wainwright. I'm back on the inside to Duff Jenkins, the young skipper for the Welsh. Thomas Williams has been told to use it. it away to Asarati. Drove him backwards well. A bit of a counter-ruck there from Ethan Root, saying great interview with Genge on the Netflix Six Nations show, says Jimbo. Good morning, brother Hamish, running here in Dubs, going Wales by 4. Cross kick there from Wales. Wasn't a bad one. It went straight to Josh Adams' hands, but unfortunately did come loose. Referees saying play on. They have still got the knock-on advantage, though, for England. Now back across to the right-hand side. Sam Underhill, quick hands to Ollie Chisholm. And I can't watch it, says Charlie. Now back across to the left-hand side. Ref allowing this game to flow quite freely. That one's off the Welsh leg. So it should be an English scrum, an English line out from about 30 metres out from the Welsh line. I apply that early pressure. Like I mentioned, territory-wise, they were dominating for the first 5 or so minutes, trying to really force Wales deep into their own half. Didn't look like it was going too badly for them in that case. One moment. In terms of the percentages, at the moment, it is still slightly more likely for England to win this game. They did come in as relatively comfortable favourites, I would say. But Asarati just getting a little bit of ice on the back of the neck. Hopefully, will be all right to continue. They've made quite a few changes, of course, to their overall lineup in this match. Someone is going hard on the trumpet in the stands by the sounds of it. I've realised anytime I move my mouse over to that side, the Wi-Fi starts to cut a little bit more out. So I will try and keep my mouse in this side's position. Hey guys, smash that like button if you're new, subscribe to the channel. We are 31 likes, or we're on 31 likes. Says Birdie V, so yeah, anyone who hasn't already, be sure to hit that subscribe and like button. That's right, Asarati sounds Welsh. Says Crumpus. Oh, hang on, TMO. Uh-oh. Getting flashbacks from the last game now. They're checking potential foul play here against Asarati. Now, he was getting ice on the neck, which makes me think there is a bit of head contact somewhere along the lines here. White 5, that being Ollie Chisholm. Seeing whether or not there is shoulder to head. Now, I hope this doesn't take 10 minutes to work it all out. Here we go, says Jimbo. Right, what is the decision? They just said about the warm-up game between England and Wales. Owen Farrell did get himself carded the last time that these two sides went head-to-head. He is, of course, not there for this Six Nations competition. This has taken a minute just for them to get the TMO up on the screen. The crowd are getting restless. And what a game, Scotland versus France. Scotland so close. Says Birdie V and England red for a rugby tackle. And what is with England and high shots? And check yawn, says Jimbo. And yeah, we are still yet to see a replay of any sort. The TMO still waiting. They're having difficulties getting the angles. Oh, they've got it now, right. Oh, there's nothing in there. Yes, it's a little bit high, but like it's pretty soft. Oh, he's got him a bit though, so they'll probably give it as a yellow card. Can't watch the game. Is it bad? Says Taylor. It's been fast paced. Early on, what's going on with these TMOs? Only a penalty, says Jimbo. He wrapped the ball, so that might save him. Plus nothing in that, says Geza. Yeah, I have no idea how they're going to rule things anymore in terms of the TMO, in terms of the refs. So I just sit here and hope that it doesn't become anything too bad. It reaches the yellow card threshold, they've said. So Ollie Chisholm, even though Asarati was ducking down, and he also wrapped around the ball, because the shoulder has made contact with the head, it's going to be a yellow card for Ollie Chisholm. Hamish, what do you think of the new Springbok coaching staff? Seems like they'll still be Very capable. The crowd are booing. It's on report, so they'll have to check whether or not it gets upgraded to a red. Yay. He's on the bunker. That's just rubbish, says Jimbo. It's not good. Not good so far for this round of the Six Nations. The first round went so well. We didn't have too many problems. But it shouldn't be upgraded. If it is, I'd be extremely surprised. But then at the same time, with the way it's going, I wouldn't be surprised as well. Right. Owen Lloyd now will be able to kick this ball towards the touchline. Need a green card, 5 minutes. Says, I am nutty. There will be a man down for 10 minutes. England know how to get cards, though. That is certainly for sure. They've had a lot for the last 12 months or so. Taken by Adam Beard, and now the rolling ball goes forward here for the Welsh. Been told to use it once. What are your thoughts on Crusaders versus Bristol, Hamish? It went about the way that I thought it would. I thought the Crusaders would get themselves a relatively comfortable win, and they were able to do so. What do you think of the new Springboks coaching staff? Yeah, I think they're going to go all right. Like, at the end of the day, the fact that they've still got Rassi till 2027 is going to be a massive boost for them. I think that Tony Brown's going to be an interesting choice. Looks like there is another injury here for one of the Welsh players, or in fact, no, sorry, it's a boot that's fallen off. They do have to wait for him. Get the boot back on. Tommy Reffel, orange card, 1/2. Says Fionn. I'm now back on England line out. Jamie George. James Dolman. Keeping a close eye on that line out, but there was a knock on from England after retaining. Watching live on S4C. Click internet with your commentary, Hamish, says B&J. And just yellow, says Bjorn. Oh, what's this now? Okay, the foul play will remain a yellow card, so it only took the TMO 2 minutes to realise that it should stay at a yellow card and probably shouldn't have even been one. What do you think of Tony Brown? What type of coach will he be? I mean, he didn't go that well for the Highlanders, but then saying that, he didn't have a lot to work with at the Highlanders, so having a bit more talent in the lineup will certainly help him. Rugby is weak, love the game, but the yellow-red card is killing the game. Says blue, and it's staying yellow, but it shouldn't have been in the first place. And that should just be a yellow, says Brian. Now Thomas Williams. Puts the ball into the scrum. And that one's going down again in the front rows. 7 minutes remaining of that English yellow card. And we have only seen one run, and the rest has been time off. Either resetting a scrum or player putting the boot back on his foot. The clock is certainly flying by. 15 minutes gone already in this one. RS says Grisham could have been lower, 6-7. He tackled him at 3. What is he supposed to do, says Jimbo. A few of the current box will be 35 plus come 2027. Says CK. Yeah, they'll have a few of the older guys, but they'll also have a few young guys coming up through the rankings, just like they had for their past World Cup cycle. Oh, it is out the back of the scrum. That's wheeling big time. Penalty advantage going the way of Wales. I thought about the cross kick there for Josh Adams. Amaro Itoje getting the ball back in the breakdown. They go back for another Welsh penalty. I think that they'd be smart to take the 3 points here for Wales. Not staying straight is the call there at scrum time of English, but I live in Wales. Oh, so you got a little bit of a foot on both sides, if that makes sense. Hey, Wales are kicking for the corner here. They want to really make the most of that man advantage. And that is a brilliant kick from Lloyd. They will be 5 metres from the line now. Exactly what they needed to be right in the perfect attacking position. Now, last rolling ball for Wales was taken down by England, and they weren't able to get it going. And Elliot D, first of all, get his line out straight, And then, can they score themselves the try? Aaron Wainwright now starting to march their way forward. Much better rolling ball. It's been dragged down just 2 metres short of the line. It's a penalty try, which I now believe will be another yellow card for the English here. I also want the clock to stop when scrums take place. So here's blue. And so the threshold between yellow and penalty, only with head contact, needs to be more constant. Going to be the second yellow card, this time going against Ethan Roots. 13 men on the field for the English. And also we get their nice Wales. Says Salah. And there as well. Just a great kick from Lloyd to get them 5 metres out, which was always going to have the English under that little bit more pressure, but Wales breaking through early with a 2-man advantage now. They should be able to keep marching, and it seems like they're continuing from where they left off in their last game of the Six Nations up against Scotland. And hit that like button, support our third world New Zealand bro. And tries to try and a yellow, says Jimbo. Like I said, England in their last game up against Wales, they were down to 12 men at one point. But Ethan Roots now is the man who will be going off the field for the next 10. They still have another maybe 4 or 5 minutes remaining of the other yellow card that they have of Ollie Chesham. It's getting tricky here for England, but sometimes they actually play better when they have less men on the field. Conversion was successful for Wales. And now 7-0 after 17 minutes for the away side. Nicely taken by Aaron Wainwright, but good driving tackle low from Tommy Freeman. Wales will want to make the absolute most of the 2-man advantage. Trying to keep this ball moving. Nick Tompkins, looks for a bit of a risky offload to George North. Does work out in his favour now. Owen Lloyd shut down there by Maro Itoje. They try. Hello everyone, I'm very small at the moment, but hey, the Wi-Fi cut out again, unfortunately, so hopefully I can rearrange. I'm back again, hey guys. The Wi-Fi cut out, and also then my phone cut out. So it's not going well, but like I said, England 5-metre scrum. I think we are almost back to our other microphone and other screen, so hopefully it's back. Here we go. Hey guys, it's a nice echo. This is, I don't know why that message is up on the screen either. Don't know what has happened in that regard, but yeah, scrum fee for England. We should arrange a fund. Arrange a cell service this month, says Gus. But the English, unfortunately, we have just seen a try. Pay your bills, mate, says Jan. Unfortunately, you need money to be able to pay bills, and I do not have much of that. But we will get our scoreboard back up. That will show that the English have just crossed the try line for the first time in this contest. And cool, I am famous, says I'm nutty. Yeah, I have no idea how that got up on the screen, but it was good attacking run from Ben Earl. And break his way and just push out far enough to get the try back for the English, who are back into this contest. And sorted out, buddy. Says Blue in there as well. But yeah, that is about the 5th time that the Wi-Fi has cut out throughout this live stream, unfortunately. I think I've used up like 90% of my data on my phone. So that's not good either. England better win, or better with 13 men. Oh, hang on, what's happened now? George Ford moved, they've said, so he isn't able to take the kick. So he's moved to the side. Rio Dyer has then charged down that kick. So this game and the Six Nations round 2 is going to be known as controversy. George Ford moved to the side, which meant Rio Dyer was able to charge it down. We have got their issue avoided. No, well, we've got it straight plugged into the modem. It's just the fact that if the modem has no Wi-Fi, we don't have any Wi-Fi. Now, Maro Atoje, claim that one. Boy, these round games are going to be interesting. A bit of spice added to the Six Nations. Alex Mitchell now kicks that ball high. Going to line this one up was Freeman, but he hasn't been able to claim it. Instead, it is the youngster Cameron Winnick. He's taken it well. 21 years of age, 21 minutes also through this one. Now, if you have cables, Wi-Fi is not an issue. And then it's your ISP issue. Says, I'm nutty. But we have had it before how like the modem just doesn't have Wi-Fi at times. Unfortunately, it just doesn't. So, yeah, I don't think a cable would fix it per se, because there was no Wi-Fi to extract. And Rugby has got silly. Says Jimbo, little chip in behind. Not a bad chase from Nick Tompkins. It's cleaned up, but another penalty, this time going against the English, and now time is off again. It's certainly changed a lot in the last 10 years. Says Mikhail. It's like Ollie Chesham will now be able to make his way back onto the field. But yellow just ruined the game, says Fionn. Hey, no excuses, man, says Blue. And then it is an ISP issue, typical for a rural issue. I remember fruit bats taking down my phone lines. Says, I am nutty, but it is a good kick towards the touchline for Wales, who now once again will find themselves around 12 metres out from the English try line. Now, England do have, well, at least they are back to 14 men being on the field. If your laptop has an Ethernet port, I am nutty is right. Says Gus, I am on PC, but I am plugged in directly to the modem. Now, Elliot D puts the ball in again. Thomas Williams, attack and run from Nick Tompkins, who finds the offload to Rio Dyer. Was in front of him. So the referee has now called it as the knock on. I don't know what Maro Atoje is pointing at. I think he was pointing at George Ford's head. Rugby should be a sport to cheer. Crowd booing since the start. Says Jimbo. Oh, looks like Chisholm might actually have an injury here, which is not what the English wanted to see. Definitely not, because he has just come back from having the 10 minutes where he has been off the field. Think he would be relatively fresh. Here it is. Oh, he's just got his head on the wrong side there, Chisholm, as well. Needs to be careful tackling like that, or else we will have a Paul Valimza scenario. A lock who got a yellow, didn't learn, and then got another yellow. I think we got a bit of a stoppage here. Ollie Chisholm, he did actually crank his neck the wrong way. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they take him off the field just to make sure that he is going to be all right. There should be a red for head contact. Says Krampus. Rio Dyer getting a big opportunity at number 11 now, mainly because of the change in sports for Lewis Rees-Zammit. And Wales got this, says Tuna. Meters made so far from the two carries is 24 for Rio Dyer. Yep, Ollie Chisholm has now been taken off the field for a head injury assessment. I'm not over Scotland match though. I think it would take a while for people to be over that game, mainly because of so much controversy that we have seen. I commend you on your language today. Says Robert. Alex Coles now makes his way onto the park. Look at that Chesm broken, says Jimbo. And also why Krampus is a contact, or it's a contact sport. It's not deliberate. If you're scared you're going to get head contact, then don't play the sport, says CK. Of course, we don't want to see people getting clotheslined throughout a game of rugby. Well, some people would want to see that actually, but I think there's still that common sense factor that they need to look at as well. No, not one curse word yet, I heard. And Cards has made rugby rubbish, says Bad Man. Now scrum feed for the English inside of their own 22, trying to march this one forward. Doesn't look like it is going anywhere, so Earl offloads it back to Mitchell. Does get the clearing kick downfield. Now Winnick has a chance of running it back. Rio Dye goes for the kick on behind. It's going to just curl into touch. Absolutely, says Blue there. But all of a sudden, in the last maybe 10 minutes or so, we have seen a change from England being the side dominating territory to now Wales being the side who have had the territory department covered and agreed, but the laws are not being applied consistently, says Krampus. Now Jamie George. Looks like it's going to be another line out. We've seen quite a bit of throughout this game. That's probably a difference between France and Scotland as well. We've actually seen a lot more of the ball finding touch with the kicks rather than just the back and forth tennis. Nice one, flat and to the front. And it's not called straight for the English, so we will have now another scrum feed. And one team gets punished, the other does not. Says Krampus. 25 minutes through in this one. It has been flying by. So read Northern Hemisphere, Southern Hemisphere refs, and 100% correct, Krampus. That's the frustrating part. Referee always have their bias towards applying the laws, says CK. And neither team have a good exit plan. Yeah, it seems like both sides are struggling to get out of their 22. England, they seem like they want to go for those kicks, but not really making a huge amount of distance. In the process, beer and rugby is like bacon and eggs. Oh, I wouldn't mind bacon and eggs. It's currently 6:20 a.m. here in New Zealand. That is going to be another free kick against Wales. Come on, England, score a try, says Fionn. Yeah, the good news is by the time this match is over, it will be breakfast time here in New Zealand. In fact, while we have got another stoppage here for the scrum, I'm going to see if anyone wants breakfast later on. There we go. Rewide Pacific Islander referees not being picked for big games. The physicality factor view appears. Apparently was a big factor. In the old days, player was strong, no cards, and rugby was great and beautiful. Says Badman, well, even like a scrum, for example. Back in the olden times of rugby, a scrum took 10 seconds. You get the players in position, they push up against each other, done. Nowadays, scrums can actually take about 4 minutes to get complete if you have a couple resets and then you have, a free kick, which then they decide to have another scrum. And I'm not saying scrums are bad, because it does show off a different technical side of the forwards in a game of rugby, but they need to find a way of keeping it flowing. That's the main thing. You can watch another match that early, especially after that shockingly bad decision last match, says Tuna. And the offside rule is not having to retreat is a joke. I saw this a lot in the France-Scotland game. Yeah, that one was a very interesting one. The fact that they pretty much just had to wait and then all of a sudden they were allowed to run. Kicked high now from England. Working it down towards the Welsh 22. We haven't seen too many attacking plays from either of the sides in the last maybe 5 minutes or so. It's a high use of force each scrum, says McHale. Yes, but that hurts the forwards' performance too, says McHale. It's going to be put up high. Not taken cleanly by Freddie Stewart, so the knock-on advantage now it will be Azarati. Gets the pass away. George North to now Cameron Winnett. I don't know why he's kicked that one. I think he's played the territory game rather than trying to run it here. But England have got numbers inside of their 22. And George Ford with a decent exit does get it out to about 30 metres from their own line. They make the law absolute crumpus. Not open to interpretation. And just arrived home, yay, and Wales are winning. That's good. Says Richard, yeah, just the misconversion of George Ford, although it wasn't completely missed per se. It was more he had it charged down. In league scrum, are 99%. Says, I think they're definitely a technicality in league, and I don't think I'd ever want to see it go to that stage in terms of a rugby scrum. But I think if they can take a couple minutes off each scrum, it would be heavily beneficial for the flow of the game, just because they can be one of the more taxing in terms of time throughout a match. Wales on attack inside of the 22. Thomas Williams going across there to Adam Beard. Back to the right once more. Wales putting together 7 phases in a row here. Another big yawn. Now Jenkins. Looks like Thomas Williams going to go to the left with this one. Cross to Tompkins. Tries a bit of stepping. Mamaro Atoje was around the bootlaces and stopped him pretty quickly. 29 minutes through this contest at the moment. And the Welsh, I believe, are back against a 15-man England. Straight in through the middle of that breakdown for Ben Earl. Referee said it's going to be all right, and I think England looking for the counter-ruck. They weren't able to get the ball, though. The game between All Blacks and Barbarians, I think, was the best game ever in 1969. See his bad man. Now around the side, Aaron Wainwright. He was one of the standouts for the Welsh throughout that second half. 15 phases, though, back-to-back here for Wales. They have lost about 15 metres in the process. Man, it's 2 extra metres. Slowly but surely here for Wales. And what they need to make sure they don't do is just randomly kick this ball away. Feel like it's not a bad thing with them just going phase after phase. Eventually the gap will open up. Winnett shut down early, almost went through. But another good tackle made by Ben Earl. Elliot D dropped on his face by Ethan Roots. Now Daft Jenkins. Wales up to 22 phases, and this will tire out the English defence eventually. Your chance will come. Now Winnett, tackled by Will Stewart. How much do you charge to become a channel member, Hamish? I believe it is $5 New Zealand dollars. I believe terrible ruck speed, slow pod formation. Wales far too slow, says Jimbo. Now Wainwright. I think that some of the credit does need to go to England, though, because they are making it awkward in the breakdown. Now offload, that's going to be knocked on by Thomas Williams. The mistake has come. Wales just got a little bit overzealous trying to create the chance. Back into the pocket, Elliot Daly now of his left boot will kick this one downfield. And it is a sensational kick from Elliot Daly. 5 metres out from their line now, Wales. And the ball is kicked into touch by Josh Adams. It's a decent kick down towards the halfway line. But Wales putting together 20 plus phases and losing 15 metres or so in the process. Wales starting to look soft in the middle. Says Blue. And yeah, they just needed something, didn't they, in terms of that attack. Not too bad, Hamish, about 60 rand, says CK. Yeah, great kick from Elliot Daly. Decided to target straight up the middle of the field rather than looking for touch, which then meant that he was really able to sink the slipper into it. And Wales, now inside of their own half, England have got themselves the line out. Oh, Elliot Daly saying that there's a little bit of blood coming from George Ford out of his cheek. I feel bad for Hamish. He's a good guy. The sport is killing him. So here's Grumpus. I mean, to be fair, like our hours that we stay up are not great, if that's what you're referring to. Throughout that World Cup, I think we only had one night where we managed 5 or more hours of sleep. But it happens. It's one of those ones that we love doing the streams, and it's always awesome getting to see so many familiar faces on them as well. So, like, if it means that we don't get a lot of sleep, it is what it is. That's a knock on from England. Yep. Knocked on. Another scrum feed, this time going to be for Wales. Right. 32-25. That's the clock and how we are currently sitting, ladies and gents. I want to see how long this scrum is. I think they were just trying to check whether or not there was a deliberate knockdown, 20 plus phases by Wales, and had no idea what to do. If that had been Ireland, there'd be 7 points on the board. Says Brian. That's that bloke who does acting. What's his name? He plays like someone in like Marvel, I think. I don't know his name though. I haven't actually watched any of the Marvel movies. Possession for the last 10 minutes. Wales 81% in their favour. And come on Wales, says Charlie Willis. And in that game between the All Blacks and the Barbarians, Gareth Edwards scored try of the previous century. Says B. MSN. Right, the ball has gone in. That scrum took exactly 1 minute and 5 seconds, which is probably a quicker one. George North, nice run forward from him now, full and straight. Up the middle and up the England. Says Taylor. Thomas Williams, hands on the ball. Maratoje plays him. Knocks it free, but it does go backwards. Massive shot in the ribs there. That's got to hurt for Gareth Thomas. He was given the hospital pass, and now he's going to need to go to hospital to get those ribs fixed. But high, just taken in the field of play. He is into touch, though. Ollie Chesham looks like he is ready to make his way back onto the field. I will create a rugby union who will join my union, who wants a fair comp, says Krampus. And Hamish, do you think we'll get Henry Arundel against Lewis Rees-Zammit one day? Probably not, now that Lewis Rees-Zammit has decided to go to the NFL. So more than likely, sadly, we won't get to see it. But yeah, oh, that hurt. You can tell as well, the way that the neck and back kind of bent. Ugh. No, that would have really hurt Gareth Thomas. I wouldn't be surprised if he stays down for a week after that one. Because Sam Underhill has just absolutely demolished his ribs. Well, like I've just said, you're not allowed to tackle a player in the air, and that is kind of in the air, theoretically. Now, if you jump into it, there should be, once again, common sense, but sometimes there isn't. 6 minutes remaining here. And the half, ladies and gents. This game not doing too badly in terms of time. We're about 10 minutes behind. That's old Wayne Barnes, I believe, watching on for this game. Go Italy, says Pietro. Was, of course, a part of the rugby documentary for referees. And that one's going to be claimed by Maro Itoje, who's just been dropped by his lifters. It's now available. Alex Mitchell pushing away Chesham, who was going to join their breakdown top 3/8s in the world. Oh. Well, you'd say Artie Savia, Kalen Doris. See, I want to say a South African, but I feel like, don't get me wrong, like Jasper Wiese and Dwayne Vermeulen are both very strong, but have they been the best of the best as of late? But I'd definitely stick with Doris and Artie Savia. And then, I don't know who else I'd go with. I'm thinking through teams and, tell you what, that's the question for everyone. Savia, then everyone else, Taylor. Says Jimbo, and come on Wales, says Herman. And Mitchell Stewart is slow on turnaround. Now, Jamie George, another line out. Not claimed by Maro Itoje, and Wales have taken it back. Getting it right there. Now, chance for a few more phases to be put together for Wales, but they need to try and go forward. It is something that they were lacking. And their last attacking play, they did lose 15 metres after 20 phases. It was weird. Maro Itoje were just sitting on a man's head for fun, by the looks of it. He was trying to keep them in the breakdown as long as possible. That's trying to create the counter-attacking chance for England in the breakdown. Also very good at being a nuisance, Maro Itoje. Does often work in his favour. 45 metres out, Wales again with Williams. Goes across to Daff Jenkins. Someone was asking about foul play. Referee says no, play on. Thomas Williams looks back into his pocket. He's got two men waiting. This time he does go to Owen Lloyd. Goes down the middle, nicely taken by Freddie Stewart. We know he's got a long boot, but I believe he did take it back, so isn't able to find the touchline. Instead gets it back to Lloyd, who sends it to the sky once more in the Twickenham Stadium. Mitchell gets it on the full. Cross kick goes straight out to the man for Wales, Josh Adams, out there on the wing, who has now broken through two tackles. Dingwall manages to stop it. I think that name will never not be fun to say. And sitting on a man's head for fun, says Naz Williams. Now, great attack and run forward for Tommy Reffel. England rush defence currently stopping Wales from making those few extra metres. Beautiful inside ball. Tommy Reffel gets it away to Williams. Inside ball. And it will be the try for the Welsh. And it's Alex Mann who breaks through. Almost on the half-time siren. They've still got 2 minutes remaining. Come on, England, you got this, lads. Says Air Serve Plus, but the gap opening up. And it was just good pot passing from the Welsh. The rush defence from England left the gap in behind when the offload came. And they ran straight through and got the try. Today, rugby is all for the money. Few players are proud for the team. A great inside ball. I think that was actually Gareth Thomas, which is very impressive, seeing as his ribs should be pretty much all scattered throughout his midsection at the moment after the shot that he got on him. But Thomas Williams, great vision and great support run from Alex Mann to be there. Owen Lloyd now gets it over. 14 points to 5 in favour of the Welsh. Now, Tommy Reffel is a monster, says Jimbo. And panic stations for England, says Salah, who believes Lewis Rees-Zammit will make it in the NFL. That'll be interesting. I mean, it's going to be a whole new situation. We don't see it too often. Definitely not of the current era that we're seeing players go to play in the NFL. Brilliant try. Well done, Wales, says Brian. Got some deep breaths being taken again here. And great time to score just before half-time. Yeah, only 50 seconds remaining. Nicely taken by Aaron Wainwright. Outside of the 22 here for Wales. Now they have a decision to make. Do they sit and do a few phases before half-time, or do they kick this ball? I think Thomas Williams just had a look at the clock. Yeah, he's just waiting again. Should be told to use this very soon by Dolman. You know, he's milking it for all it's worth. But Williams still looking at the clock. And it's being charged down by Ollie Chisholm. I mean, that'll use up a few more seconds. And Wales, says Scotty. And great time to get a try, says Brian. Now one more phase going to be in play. Maro Itoje, the man who has made the tackle. And if you haven't yet, peeps, get our lad to 50k, and that one will be booted into touch. Wales at half-time at Twickenham, leading this game 14 points to 5. Very difficult to make it in the NFL. Takes ages to learn the set place, says Frank. And great time to get the try, says Brian. And come on, England, says Dr. Power. And Nas Bota failed in the NFL, says Bad. Yeah, it's one of those ones that sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And I hope for Lewis Rees-Zammit's sake that it does end up working. He said that it's the dream that he's had to try and play in the NFL. So I know that it takes a while to learn the plays, like you said, but if he's been a lifelong NFL fan, you'd assume that it wouldn't take him as long to pick up, more than likely. We have got their strange half, but Wales edge again. Lewis Rees-Zammit might do okay. Is a very simplistic game compared to rugby. Has to be something Americans can understand, says Brian. And why aren't you having a beer instead? Says Craig. Well, it is currently 6:37 a.m., which I know is probably not an excuse, to be fair, but she's a bit early in the morning. I'll probably be having breakfast soon. And breakfast with a beer, don't know if it's the best combo. Have you seen all the negative comments against Lewis Rees-Zammit joining the NFL? Says Luke. I mean, like anything, unfortunately, there's always going to be the people on social media who always say that you can't do it or you shouldn't do it or they're not happy about it. DuPont's experienced the same thing when he's played for Sevens. A lot of people talking a lot of trash about him now. And I have a beer at 5 somewhere and what a half Wales played for the first whistle today, or from the first whistle today, and have been impressed. Also, Wales seem to pull yellows out of teams most games. And beautiful example by Wales of how to unlock a blitz defence. Says Paul Kirby. Yeah, it was just that nice inside ball that completely changed it for the Welsh, because they had put together 20 phases and they hadn't gone through. But as soon as they did that little switch and went on the inside instead, the gap opened up, and Jaco van Staden said, thinking Wales can win this one. England doesn't look up to it. Atoje walking around most of the time. Says Jaco. And Aldra is very underrated. That is true. So, we asked the question, or someone asked earlier on, 3 of the best... what was I saying? 3 best number 8s in the world. Who would everyone go with? So many good college football players in the US. Those that don't cut it play in the Canadian Football League. He might be given a run. Would be great. And Lewis Rees-Zammit won't make it in the NFL. Compare him to English player who is now in racing. Says Ed, and also we've got it is, in fact. Currently or past, current players in the world, who would you go with as your top 3? But thank you very much, Brian, for becoming a member. Referee has a Wales shirt on underneath. Says right turn Clyde. He's sure he got away, but never made a start. And best dates are Savia, Aldra, and Visa. Says Jaco there. And all eras of this era. This era, current players who are playing. Who would you go with? But currently in the match, I will give you some stats about the first half, ladies and gents. At the moment, of course, 14 points to 5 in favour of the Welsh. They have had 50 more metres gained than the English throughout this contest. Also, England have had to make 95 tackles compared to the 29 that we have seen made by the Welsh. Attacking minutes, 14.2 for Wales compared to 4.9 of the English. My second time, Hamish. Change provider, and the last one lapsed. Says Brian, well, it is awesome to have you back. Of course, Brian. 309 in the metres carried to 158 of England. Actually, as a stat there, England have had more line breaks, 19 defenders beaten by Wales. They've also had more offloads. England have had 10 handling errors to the 5 that we have seen of the Welsh. But someone mentioned about the discipline, and currently we have seen 6 penalties against England. We are yet to see a single penalty go against the Welsh, according to the stats that I've got here. Sorry, I thought you were coming live to us all the way from Europe. Says Craig Green. 6:40 a.m. for us here in New Zealand. I should mention the game tomorrow is taking place at 4 a.m. New Zealand time, but we are covering it. Can we do the top 15 of all time? Ooh, it's a hard one to pick, that is for sure. An old joke, I tried to become a New Zealand citizen, but I didn't have enough close relations. And Honeycomb has a good no right for the Bulls. Have a good future. Guamedi is also good. Yeah, a lot of young South African 8s at the moment looking strong. Diamani, yes, he doesn't often play 8, but that loose forward trio, when you look at it in the future, is going to be absolutely stacked for the Box. And also we have got there Lawrence, says Krampus, and Billy Vunipola, said no one ever. Ben Earl, says Krampus. That one probably could be worth a shout in terms of the best 8s around. And Savia, I think that is from Blue, and I'm from Britain, and it's 5:45 p.m. So yeah, that game tomorrow will be a 3 p.m. kickoff for you guys in Britain between Ireland and the Italians. Alongside that, we are also going to be covering the West Indies versus Australia T20 on the channel. Be sure to keep an eye out for that. If Wales win this, where does that leave English Rugby? I mean, don't get me wrong, they'll be utterly disappointed if they were to be defeated here. England, they are currently sitting on 4 points in the overall Six Nations fixtures table. So if Wales were to win this game, even if they just win it, they actually move to first on the table at the end of today. Now, Ireland can change that, of course, if they either were to lose by only 1 or less than 7 up against the Italians, or if they were to win. But yeah, it'll be interesting. It seems like the Six Nations, the fact that France now have 4 points, the fact that Wales are looking towards 4 points as well, like there's going to be some very close teams. Hamish doesn't like Vunipola. I just think that he's past his prime, unfortunately, and the bloke's more concerned about giving away penalties and trying to get himself off the field than he is about staying out there on the park. The man try was Irish style. It's at 3 p.m. here, or 3 p.m. kickoff here in Ireland as well, and he moved back to the UK after being named top 14 player of the year. No coach will pick him. Says I'm nutty. And also we've got there, he should go play for Scotland. Says I am nutty. Just showing the highlights of Maxwell versus Afghanistan and what he was able to do. That table was wrong, says Krampus. It was. That's why I said about the adjustments in terms of the fact that certain sides did receive more points. Who's that Argentina number 8 that played for the Crusaders? I'd rate him up there. So Pablo Matera as the man you are talking about. And Billy was good 5 or 6 years ago. Too slow these days. Good for McDonald's. Cheers, Frank. Second half just around the corner, ladies and gents. Do let me know your full-time score predictions in this matchup. Sorry, they're just showing Maxwell's double 100. And he's just hitting the ball so cleanly. We are going to get to see that man in action tomorrow. Or today, in fact. In about 14 hours' time. Up against none other than the West Indies. Vunipola was a Fiji and just woke up. Wales winning. Good to see them doing well. Says Rafflesia. And Metzko is a freak, even though he's an Aussie. Mexico. Who is Mexico? I'm trying to work out who has been auto-corrected. Mexico. Even though he's an Aussie. Mexico. Good evening, Hamish and Rugby Rockers. I finished working at last, says Ruth, so it is good to see you. Second half just around the corner. Mexico is the last country, or is a lazy country. It says Krampus. What's their rugby team rank, Mexico? Out of curiosity. And Cancun is paradise, though. Says Krampus. And how's the game? Come on, people. Let's go. Hit that like button. Kiwi Lads Rocks. Says Ruth in there as well. But yeah, anyone who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Like I said, we are very close to seeing Wales and England take back to the field. We have already seen 2 yellow cards. At this point, hope England win. Says Fionn, and let's get this done, Wales. And what is the local time, Hamish bro? So for me, where I am, it is 6:45 a.m. We have been up since about 1 a.m. New Zealand time. Currently, Wales are still underdogs. Why? They are still considered not favourites, according to the TAB here in New Zealand. How is that possible for the Welsh? I feel like at the moment, them to win by 13 plus might be a decent option here in this matchup because they just do look like the strongest side. And ref game is broken, but Wales have grabbed it by the scruff. And Butler Mateta is the RG player for the Crusaders, says Seller. And I was watching to see if the ball moved, not consistently. Looking at the back of the ref's shirt, says Chris. And hoping England come back into this. And I want more tries. Sorry, man, not Mexico. I see. And Wales can only score 14 points and enter England's half twice with yellow cards. Lol, says Crumpus. And Welsh Dragons are ahead, firing on all cylinders. Hamish, you look magnificent, says Ruth. Don't know about that, Ruth, but thank you very much. I agree, sideways movement is setting, not kicking, says Mr. Fantastic AJ, and referee is a joke, and bent ref, says Crumpus there, and Wales, says Scotty there. But yeah, it seems like Wales have got a large amount of support for this matchup. And also we have got there, I know a few times ref getting in the way, says Anglo-Saxon. No walls, mate, open borders, says Jan. Hamish, do you think, knowing that had been said in the media, whether there is any truth, the French coaching situation, that Galtier, I'll be honest, he seems like a man who might be kind of hard to work with, but like, it's one of those ones as well that, like, the French side, they just aren't performing, are they, the way that they would have liked to throughout the Six Nations. Yes, they've got a win, but it was a very tight one at that, and some would even say extremely lucky. And Wales doing well for a young team, and Galtier looks super serious. It's weird, isn't it? Or isn't it? Because, like, it does seem like he's a really serious guy, but then also at the same time, like, yeah, like, I don't think I've ever seen him smile. I've never seen him laugh. Referee spoiling good matches, though, or through biased decisions. Says right turn cycle. And also, hopefully, Borwick has slapped his team around a bit and they come out firing. And why isn't it whenever Wales do well, the rest in our pocket? Says Mr. Fantastic AJ. One moment, I'm about to sneeze, so we will pause. I just realised I said pause rather than mute, but we did mute. Both sides making their way out of the tunnel now for the second 40 minutes here. Second game of round 2 in the Six Nations. And already we have seen one favourite win. That being the French. Why don't I work on the Enterprise and on Island Fried the French potatoes? Says Brian. Now I really do want breakfast though. I'll probably have some sort of potatoes. Whether that's hash browns will go alright. Because even in the future I don't want to work. Says Blue. And kick off says Fionn in England. Says Marco. George Ford. Conversion decision was a disgrace. Says right turn cycle. Wasn't great of course. But England still need to do a lot more in this half. And yes, those 2 points could come back to bite them, but it also is that scenario of they still need a lot better off in this half than they were in the first. Need to start well. They actually started the first half quite decently, getting the territory game going early. They weren't able to turn it into points. Who should be the new captain of the All Blacks? It's a very good question. There's a few options about, but yeah, to be honest, I have no idea who they will actually go with. In that regard, and come on, England, says Fionn, and Chips, says Angelo. And we're having to Ford. Was bad, but it could help kickers pick up the pace and not time waste. Don't let it be like a knee in the NFL. Says Mr. Fantastic AJ. So the second half now underway, ladies and gents. Wales kicking off from left to right. England claiming that one just inside of their 22. They have given away 6 penalties throughout that first half, England, compared to the 0 that we have seen from the Welsh. Being extremely disciplined at this stage of the match. One's gone high, and Tommy Freeman tries to slap it back, but is cleaned up by Rio Dyer. Now some good stepping from Ewan Lloyd. Someone actually did predict a 30 points to 10 win in favour of the Welsh. Who knows if that is possible at the moment. If both sides double their points, they'll be close to it, but that is the knock-on from Aaron Wainwright early on in this half. And okay, come on, Wales. So yeah, Brian, it's that first time since 1980 Wales have led at Twickenham at half-time. Well, that is quite the stat. And they don't only lead by a little bit, they're ahead by 9 currently. Thought I was seeing things when I saw the scoreboard. So here's Ruth as well. And referee better not spoil the second half, says right turn cycle. Or sorry, right turn Clyde. Have I been saying cycle the whole time rather than Clyde? So I do apologise if I have been. Come on, England, says Fionn. Scrum feed for the English. Best case scenario for them, of course, is to score within the first 10 minutes. Wales plus 9.5, Dustin off the rocking chair, says Justin. And I want Wales to win, says Jan. Oh. Okay, it started off as a free kick, then it became a penalty. A little bit too much movement in the Welsh scrum, so that is actually the first penalty against them in this game. I know penalties, England's kryptonite. There's Anglo-Saxon. Kick downfield, and he has managed to find touch about, I'd say, 17 metres out from the try line now. Henry Slade not too happy with it. And who came on for Chisholm? Says Taylor. So they have got the youngster Alex Coles now out there on the field. But I think Chisholm has now come back. Yes, he has. After his HIA. Now Jamie George. Not the best throw, but also not the best take for the English. They have still got the ball though. And that is the main thing at this point. Just putting together some phases. Alex Mitchell off to Joe Marler. I think that's his first carry that we have seen of the day. Alex Mitchell going across there into the midfield to Dingwall. Did England colonise the rest of home nation? So his right turn, Clyde. Now nice run for Dingwall again. Now Mitchell going off to the left-hand side. Quick hands from Ford. Gets it away to Will Stewart. Wasn't held, so was able to go again. Now Mitchell to Ford, Dingwall, he has Elliot Daly on his outside towards the corner. He's been pushed out though. Just running out of space and going in to touch a couple metres out. Now maybe an inside ball could have been an option there for Elliot Daly. I think he was a little bit isolated though. But yeah, unfortunately, no, he was all on his lonesome. Would have been very tricky to get that ball back across. English line-out is going to kill Itoje. Yeah, they're throwing him up and they're just not really catching him. They're just chucking him in the air going, someone will get him. And then no one gets him and he just slams into the ground. English by 17. Says Jimbo. Well, I was only a metre out from their try line. Bit of a counter-arc there from the English. The ball is there. It's going to be the scrum available now for the Welsh. The ball was stuck in there. That was due to the English players falling around the side. As I said, that both number 5s were on the ball. They're being out of bed and Ollie Chisholm. So because of that, with the ball not coming out, it means that they decided that they would have the scrum land of my father's mother. Says Ruth. And All Blacks' first try scorer this year will be Clack. Is that Clark? Or no? Not sure. And touchdown, sorry, wrong chat. Says Rugby and also go on England. Says Fresh. England. Chance to try and get a good counter scrum here. Now Williams puts it in. Are you going to be filming the Black Caps? Says Ollie. I am not. No, I think that actually starts today as well, doesn't it? Oh, no, sorry, it's next Tuesday. The test match starts for the Black Caps up against South Africa, looking for their first ever series win over the South Africans. Let's go England, let's make a game of it. There's rugby, but Kieran Azarati, he's been through a bit of a battle already out there on the field. He's got a face full of, looks like a touch line, quite a white forehead. What's that about Mexican chili dogs? Do you know, or do you maybe know the penalty count? So currently the penalty count is 6 penalties against England, 1 against Wales. So, yeah, actually no penalties against Wales throughout that first half. But then second half, they did give away the first penalty that we have seen. It is available at the back now for the scrum. Check, Brian. England won 9-8. Now going back across to the short side. Josh Adams has to put boot to ball, but he hasn't found touch. And now Freddie Stewart starting to charge. Oh, he slipped again. I think he's got the wrong boots on because that is the second time that man has slipped when he's tried to accelerate. Now George Board, look for the little chip in behind. They'll go back for the penalty in favour of the English. That is going to be offside this time against was Nick Tompkins. I made a mistake. That game between Barbarians and All Blacks was in 1973. Says Badman. I'm going to start typing my sentences. Says Blue. And Rivers about as fair as Henry VIII. And England has a 6 penalty handicap applied every game. Says Crumpus, and England less bake-offs, more rugby practice. Says rugby. So 12 in front of the kicker. Oh. Hang on. Where are we going back to? He was in front of the kicker from the original kick, 5 metres out from the line. Now, England are willing to go for the 3 points here, even though they were in the perfect position to be able to attack. So Nick Tompkins, because he was in front of Josh Adams, he is not allowed to make that tackle where he did. In fact, he didn't even make a tackle. He just ran forward. England to win, says John, and that kick has gone over now from the English, making the score 8 points to 14. Some very gangster music playing at Twickenham Stadium at the moment. And Brian, you've got some spaghetti twirlers in you. And back also early in the match and try it in now. Or try in it now, says Rugby. That is true. Now nicely taken by Freddie Stewart. I think for England, they just wanted to get some points early on in this half. And reap some of those rewards of a half chance. Ball still there for England. Just outside of the 22, Alex Mitchell puts it high again this time. I think it was Elliot Daly charging onto it. It will be the knock-on advantage against Ethan Roots, who's got the turnover in the breakdown. But it's going to be, once again, another scrum. When do you get the guitar out on stream? Not very often, to be honest. And it's actually out in storage at the moment. So, yeah, quite a bit longer. Ethan Roots trying to take that one cleanly. And to his credit, he did manage to get the turnover in the breakdown afterwards. He just did knock it on first. All right, Razor plays Fakatava and Roygaard. These two, if they gel, will be a very special combination for the ABs. And gee, this is wooden and real boring. Sorry, mate, stop. Says Richard, well, the benefit is you don't have to watch it, Richard. You can find elsewhere to be able to get your rugby coverage. Should have gone for the scrum, says Taylor. Yeah, I think that close to the line, you've really got to go and close the gap a little bit more than the 3 points. Have you done a fantastic team? Says Taylor, you're disrespecting the game. Go home, mate. I am home, Richard. I'm in my house. It's a green screen. I don't know if you know how technology works, but fun fact, I'm not actually at Murrayfield. But now, going to be the cross kick. Nicely taken by Rio Dyer, going for the kick in behind, and it just drifts into touch. When it was on it, though. And I'm going to snack on some spicy chicken strippers. Interesting. Wales need to score next, says Brian. And also, we have got their quit being a dick, Richard, says Justin. Well, Richard is another word for Dick, so I guess it makes sense, doesn't it? And Elliot Daly is just not good enough, says Jimbo. And also, you can't store it. My guitar is next to me at all times, says Mr. Fantastic AJ. Elliot Daly is just not good enough. Yeah, I'll be honest, like, they haven't quite been able to get that backline firing. And I don't know whether or not that is the midfield. Maybe they're not quite getting the job done without Tuolangi in there. What did I do? No, it wasn't you, Richard. It was the other Richard who was in the chat. Richard, who doesn't put a capital for his first name. Neither do you. Is that just a Richard thing? Who do you think is the All Blacks' best young up-and-coming talent? I think that Roygaard is really up there in terms of a chance of being a big star. It's a typical slower game again because it's between two Northern Hemisphere teams. Says Johan. And I am says Rugby. It looks like some subs are going to be made. Dan Cole to make his way onto the field. That will be to replace Will Stewart. And Ellis Gench will make his way onto the field. That is to replace Joe Marler. So they have made the two changes there in the front row. And Rugby is being phased out, says Krampus. Hamish to coach the British and Irish Lions. I don't think I'd be a very good coach. I feel like I don't have that competitive nature to be a coach. Oh, okay, elbows up. What we are hearing there. And thoughts on how Joseph Suaalii will transition to Union next year. I'm curious to know if it actually fully happens and how it's going to happen for Australia, because we've seen a few rugby league players say, I'll play a little bit of rugby union. I mean, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, perfect example. And then after about a season, he was like, nah, not going to play it anymore. So I hope that's not the case for Suaalii. I know that they're trying to lock him in for a lot of money and for a long time, but it will take a bit of time for him to adapt. And the new front row just getting themselves a little bit of a warning. The hair comes on for a tortoise. Alex for Joe. Six Nations series flopped on Netflix. There wasn't a phase out. There was an attempt of boosting following, but it flopped. Should be wearing an All Blacks jersey. And also, I'm sorry. I've had a few beers. No excuse. Didn't mean to be rude. Sorry. Says Richard. Is your team England, Richard, out of curiosity? Because to be fair, like watching this first half of England, you probably do need a few beverages to get through it. Can we focus more on what's going on in the game, please? At the moment, we've got another scrum reset for the 15th time in this contest. So we're probably at about 15 minutes worth of nothing that has happened throughout this game. But as soon as the scrum goes down, another reset. Fun fact, we're going to need to wait another minute. Yeah, we're all crazy. I'm taking my son to the rugby league muster this morning, so hopefully he'll play both codes this year, rugby on a Saturday and league on a Sunday. Nice little combination going, as long as he remembers what game he's playing when he's playing. 53 minutes through. The new front row for England seems to have caused a bit of a problem at scrum time. We've seen a couple resets in a row. Hopefully we get to see them running the ball soon. But then saying that, I think that England, with where they are on the field, they are only 10 metres out from their line. So more than likely a kick to touch is coming. Do you have the possession percentage? I do indeed. So currently, the way that the percentage stat sits, it is 65% in favour of Wales. Territory is 56% in favour of England. Now another scrum. Mitchell puts the ball in. And it's out the back for Ben Earl, who's been dropped well by Thomas Williams. A little bit of a counter-up coming from Williams, but he has been flattened out. And Mitchell now will roll this ball back, more than likely to kick it towards the touchline. Can't afford to have that counter-attack from Wales. And it does go out. Good kick downfield from Mitchell. Dyer doesn't want it. And 46 metres out now, Wales have got themselves another line out. If the scrum is failing, it's up to the ref to sort it out, says Stella. And yeah, we've had a lot of resets throughout this game. Elliot D now making his way from the field. That'll be for Ryan Elias. Azarati coming off. That will be for, I believe, Archie Griffin, the man who has made his way onto the park. When scrums haven't stopped the clock, so obvious, says Blue. And Garland criticised the Welsh ref for playing for England. But he's a Kiwi coaching in Wales. Is that unfair of him? And both matches today have been subpar, says Rugby. I'll be honest, like Ireland, Italy is going to have to really, I guess, raise the level for this round of the Six Nations. The first round, I thought that there were moments for most sides that were pretty strong. Like Ireland's performance up against France was good. They managed to get themselves that 21-point win, which no one really saw coming. Close game between Italy and England. Beautiful run forward here for Cameron Winnett. Pass on the outside to Josh Adams. Oh, he's gone himself and he's almost gone into touch and Rio Dyer's dropped the ball. That was Wales' chance to get ahead. And unfortunately, they didn't manage to take it further ahead is what I should say as well there. But great backline, great flat pass from Lloyd, which opened it up for Winnett, who went on the outside to Adams, and they just had it covered on the inside. There's a middle on the starboard bow skipper. Just throw him a dull check, bro, says Richard. And terrible play, says Rugby in there as well. England's defence got cut open there again, which is quite concerning with so long remaining. Elliot Daly taking some deep breaths. Lewis 37 might have scored that, says Hanoi. Yeah, Elliot Daly going for the big goalkeeper diving save, trying to hit Winnett. And then Freddie Stewart, he's done well with his positioning. Had to keep an eye on about 3 defenders at once, and he managed to handle that scenario, keeping the English in the game. Well, that was close, says Brian. Now 5 metres. Oh, another scrum reset. So often. Time is now off. James Dolman has decided that they need to turn the clock off here. Great tackle, says Jimbo. A wide margin between Irish and the rest of the Six Nations, says Rugby. James Dolman asking for a little bit more balance at scrum time. And you can understand why the players and also the referee is getting frustrated. This is about the 8th time that we have seen a reset at scrum time. And I was just thinking that too. Says Brian. Yeah, great tackle made by Tommy Freeman. And then Ford was there to cover the next man, Dyer. He actually got him in the face a little bit on the way down. Right, Mitchell gets the ball hopefully in. Oh, it's gone down. Penalty to England, though. That is what we need to see a little bit more of. Penalties going against sides at scrum time. I want to see some magic tomorrow, says Rugby. Maratoja getting right up into Adam Beard's face. And Europe rules, says Crumpus. George Ford now to kick this one towards the touch line. It's done just that, nicely done. 45 metres out from their own line. England, another line out here. This might be the least exciting game of the Six Nations to date, says Brian. Yeah. There's been good moments in it as well. 5 minutes England score, says Richard. Stolen. Or sorry, not stolen, but almost stolen by Adam Beard. They just couldn't quite get the lift up that they needed. Ball's available for Alex Mitchell, who on the halfway line looks like he's going to send this ball to the sky again. Besides playing a territory-based game, trying to make sure that it is the opposition who make the mistakes. That is a well-placed kick there from Alex Mitchell. The ball is lost, but it has gone backwards. Aaron Wainwright, pressure on him in the breakdown. There is the advantage now in favour of the English for the knock-on. And Ireland will be playing a power game tomorrow with a bigger pack than last week. The McCloskey in the centre, pretty clear. They are coming to steamroll the smaller Italian side. Northern Hemisphere puts defence higher than Southern, more tries than Southern, but better defensive games. And Northern, says Mr. Fantastic AJ. Yeah, I'll be honest, like the first round of the Six Nations, we did see quite a few games going into those 20-point margins. Second round, seems like the defence is really tightened up. Currently, Wales, they have scored 2 tries. England have scored the 1. But we saw the bonus point try scored by Ireland in that first round. I think that once again, they may be the only side that will receive a bonus point win. I guess the halftime whistle was great. Yawn, says Jan. And the British and Irish Lions will be too strong for the Wallabies. Hamish, will you watch Ireland versus Italy? We certainly will be. And we will be covering it on the channel as well. Anyone who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Mitchell now to feed the ball in again for England on the 22. And that scrum's not solid at all. That's my fault, says James Dolman. Scrums are just ugly in this game is the best way of describing it. Fast side not working. Italy as the current generation, or a great generation for them currently. 2 minutes, says Richard remaining. The Lions will absolutely destroy Australia, says Taylor. I would be quite concerned if they didn't with the current state of Australian rugby. 20 minutes now left in this game. The clock is still ticking. And as every scrum reset goes by, chances of another try also dwindle. It's time to scrap the Lions. The Irish tour to South Africa this summer will be more exciting than the Lions tour to Australia next year. Says Rugby. Who would you take in a 3-game? Oh, it's a penalty this time to England at scrum time. Please tell me they're not going to call for another scrum. I think that they'll go for the corner here, England. Even though 3 more points would put them within the 5, I think they need to score off a rolling maul, and that is exactly what they're doing. They're going for the corner. 7 points coming for England here, people, says Blue. But we are up to 60 minutes through this game. Joe Marlow is begging the referee for the penalty. Razor picks Richie Mo'unga, says Manny. What do Wales need to do to win the Six Nations? They would need to win every game from here, including their match up against the Irish. Not Wales, says Justin. Going to be thrown in now. Ollie Chisholm takes it nicely. And it's rolling straight sideways at the moment for the English. They haven't really been able to make too many extra metres towards the Welsh try line. Mitchell uses it quickly, trying to pierce through the gap, but Reffel manages to take him down. Now Jamie George, 4 metres out from the line. The English, their best chance of the half to be able to score the try. Now Maro Atoja, we've got a gift of membership from Robert Vale. Right, my Wi-Fi cut out again, ladies and gentlemen. And unfortunately, it's every time England are very close to scoring a try, the Wi-Fi completely goes away. It happened last time. We did miss the last English try, so I'm not actually sure what's going on at the moment in terms of whether or not we have actually seen a try being scored. We got gifted memberships going all over the place. Thank you very much, Brian, as well as Robert. But yeah, hopefully the Wi-Fi comes back very soon on my PC, and we will be able to continue the stream as we were just doing. Conspiracy, says Justin. Yeah, something about my Wi-Fi really does not like when England are about to score a try. Who would you take in a 3-game series with current form between Italy and Australia? I'd still go Australia. I know that Italy, they aren't in terrible form at the moment, but I'd still say that Australia would get the job done. If it was in Italy, maybe it could be a little bit closer. And when you come back, we will have scored, says Richard. And Dan Cole is dirty. Watch him strangle and push Adam Beard head down in the ruck just before the try. I just tell your brother to chill out on the dirty movies, taking up all the Wi-Fi bandwidth, says Rugby there. Yeah, we are currently refreshing hoping that the Wi-Fi comes back. But did England score is the big question that I want to know the answer to, and I assume they did. England front row changing the game. And Ford has missed again, says Taylor Heath. So unsuccessful for George Ford. So, wait, that would have been straight out in front, though, was it? Here's what happened. Unfortunately, my Wi-Fi cut out again. So, pretty much, I am currently on data on my phone, being able to use up a little bit of what is left. Currently, I've got two screens that both say no internet and site can't be reached. And this is about the 10th time on the live stream that we have had this technical difficulty, but current score, it is a little bit closer in this game, but England getting right back into the contest now with that try being scored. Wi-Fi still not back though, and Wales come up the England and they score but missed the conversion, says Taylor. And Ruth is back. Where's George, dude? Ain't seen him on for ages. He's still about, George. He's probably, well, if he's not working, we'll probably end up getting some breakfast today just because I've put breakfast in my mind and now I'm very keen on it. Right, I'm hoping the Wi-Fi will be back very soon, ladies and gents, because we do not want to miss the last 10 minutes of this game. Definitely as it's just starting to heat up. And George is on the tractors. Also, we have got there in the chat as well. Come on, people, let's go. And Pancake Tuesday, says Padraig. It would work if it wasn't Sunday, but although I should say it's Saturday for you guys in the Northern Hemisphere as well. Right, the Wi-Fi still is not quite back, ladies and gentlemen. So until it comes back, we won't actually be able to have the scoreboard up on the screen. This is one of my favorite streams, says Robert. It's been the most technical difficulty-based stream that we have done on the channel, that is for sure. I mean, I can tell you some of the stats. 63% for Wales in terms of possession. So the away side have actually been a lot more successful in terms of being able to hang on to this ball. Seen the penalty count relatively even now between these two sides as well, sitting at about 6-5. 2 yellow cards still in play from earlier on. But they are the only 2 yellows that we have seen throughout this matchup. In terms of the meters gained, England are still around that 50 or so meters behind. I want to make sure that they do catch up as we get a bit further towards the final whistle. England in the Welsh 22. What does the score, says Hannah? So the current score in this contest is 13 points to 14. But yeah, the Wi-Fi cut out for myself, which is why we're through our phone while we wait for the internet to come back type thing. But yeah, not ideal, I think is the best way of describing it. This is going to make the arm pretty tired pretty quick. Still got the site cannot be reached on my PC, which is not great. Turnover, says Jimbo. This is kind of like reverse commentary, isn't it? I'm sitting here while you guys have to try and tell me what's going on in the game. Normally it is the other way around. How long is left? Only 10 minutes remaining in this matchup between the two sides. So I'm really hoping that the Wi-Fi will be back before the end of said 10 minutes. Wales clear, says Jimbo. Right, we're going to try refreshing a couple more times, and then we're going to have to more than likely try and get the Wi-Fi back. We'll go into the settings. Hamish says normally is the other way around. That is true. And Jimbo says 22 minutes. Right, it says no internet access, but that's all right. We're going to find it. Get the Wi-Fi going. Show available networks. Here we go. Connect automatically. Uh-oh. I don't think I can get it while... Oh, hang on, she's back. Right, we're transferring back over, ladies and gents, for the next one. We'll add me. Hello, everyone. We are back. We're going to close that on my phone. We're going to share the screen, and we're going to find the rugby again one more time, because this last minute or so, or the last 10 minutes, I should say, should be very close. We're going to refresh. Fingers crossed. Our forwards goal kicking could prove crucial. Yeah, the missing of the 2 points earlier on And also missing that last kick as well probably will end up costing the English just that little bit. How much have you ever left New Zealand? I have indeed. But they've said 80 minutes. Wales need to get through it. They have still got a singular point lead at the moment. And good work, says the Blue. But I do appreciate you all sticking around while we were having our internet issues. It must be quite annoying to watch while I can't see anything. Now trying the little chipping behind for Wales, not taken cleanly, but the referee says it's gone backwards. So now Jenkins, the captain, gets his opportunity there. On the halfway line, I see Cunningham South has made his way out there. Oh, it's hit Dan Cole in the head, but it bounces back for the Welsh. Looked like a knock-on again. Dolman says play on once more. And I still fancy Wales to win, says Manny. I mean, they're still ahead, so that is the main thing at the moment. It's just going to be the case of trying to be right at that final whistle, because honestly, it could go either way. And I feel like both sides know that. How did Scotland lose that game earlier? Well, there was a bit of controversy, that is for sure. Oh, awkward landing for Freddie Stewart. He's pretty much climbed over the top of Rio Dyer. But England now, chance to go out wide. George Ford decides instead to hang on to this ball. He hasn't really been a clear factor. Great kick there, though. 50-22 from George Ford. I was about to say we haven't really seen him stand up in this game, but that one thing there might change this whole matchup. And Scotland were robbed. Says Manny. Oh. Okay, the catch was inside. Nope. Yeah, it's a 50-22. And great touch finder. Says all in the game, and now England are in the position of possibly being on the verge of breaking through. Oh, and it's missed here. Says Rugby. Freddie Stewart, he has taken some very deep breaths. This game has been played at a fast tempo between these two sides, but Jamie George looking like he's going to be playing close to the full 80 minutes here for England. They do not want to make the change now, but they are 12 metres from the line. And the line out in their favour. Ford goes to the front, claimed there by Ethan Roots. The crowd's starting to get behind the home side here, England, and great kick by Ford. It certainly was. You're doing an awesome job. Even though the World's throwing a kitchen sink at you. Oh, the pass is out wide. I think it was knocked on. Was it deliberate from Grady? Double blow of the whistle. I think this is going to be relatively serious. Then it happened. We came back. We fought. It's going to be a yellow card here by the sounds of it for Mason Grady. Penalty for a deliberate knockdown. But now they have to decide whether or not it is serious enough. His hands extended out in front of him. They'll have to check to see what type of cover there was. I'd like to think that it wouldn't be a penalty try. And I think he was a little bit unlucky there, Grady, to be honest, because I think he was almost trying more to make that tackle. But the hand is still out. So it will still be the penalty. Is it just a yellow card? There is a defender, so it sounds like it's just going to be the yellow card for Mason Grady. And good call on the yellow, says Rugby there. And Jimbo has the Welsh holding on with one hand, says Ruth. Okay, there's far too much doubt for them to go any further than just a yellow card. But now Mason Grady, he will be off the field for the final 10 minutes of this match. Wales get away with too much, says Annoy. Well, they haven't got away with that one. They are now going to be one man down for the remainder of this match. And George Ford has the chance to line up the kick for the 3 points here. Got to take the 3. Says all in the game. Yep, straight out in front. Even if you feel like you can still score a try, you need to get the lead first, then go for the jugular afterwards. Ford, he hasn't had the best day kicking. He actually hasn't kicked anything over, other than, I believe, the 3-pointer near the start Oh, the fixture looks like there's cover. Says Brian. No conversions have gone over for George Ford, though, but that one for the penalty certainly has 16 points to 14. And whilst Warren Gatlin looks like he's about to quit, says Rugby. And Scotland should have taken the 3 at the end of the first half when France lost a man. Says all in the game. So Jamie George, he has been taken off the field, and that is for Theo Dan. So a big opportunity for him late on in this game. And as the sea comes in, cliffs perish and fall. What's that on the horizon? It's England coming at you. Move out of the way. Or Hay knocked down Taffy. There's Richard. And ouch, that's not good. Says Ruth. So Wales now find themselves down by 2 points with 8 minutes remaining on the clock. Kick deep to Ben Earl. He's going to charge straight at the opposition. He's taken down, though, by Corey Dimichowski. Looking for a little bit of a counter ruck there. Wasn't quite able to get it done. Danny Kerr also on the field for England now. Just going to be rolling it back. Kerr. My Wi-Fi is stalled. Must be catching Hamish. And where's Reece Emmett when you need him? He's playing the NFL, or he's at least trying to play American football. Kick downfield, goes into touch. Fantastic kick from Danny Kerr. Come on, Wales, move your sweet butts. Ruth's words, not mine. Over that line, it's now on Never Elvis Presley. A sport where they pretend it's really intense, but in fact it goes never goes anywhere. Plus probably get filled shouting stuff and false nationalism. It's pompous posturing. It sounds like Robert really doesn't like his rugby. Just at a guess, I would say. We've got a lot of Roberts in the stream at the moment. I think we've got like 4. And can Wales win? Going to be a tricky one. That one not straight, though, from Wales line out. So that's going to make it just a little bit more difficult for them. And also, old man Kerr to shepherd out the game. Taffy means someone from the south. See, Taffy over here is just like a type of like lolly. And back again, still time for Wales and Lewis Summit. Hopefully, he's welcome in the States. Says Roman. Just an excuse to face in a fake Irish pub, a rundown French town somewhere. Says Robert, it's all fun. Let's not be too bad. Whoever wins, congratulations. So to them. Says Richard. And we've got about 5 minutes, enough time to play. Well, this will be interesting because England actually are in a scenario now that if they... Oh, that's a free kick in favour of Wales. I was about to say if England score a converted try, they will actually cut out Wales' bonus point here. Currently, the way that it sits, Wales would receive at least the 1 point for playing in this contest. Owen Lloyd, they've got the free kick, so he's just going to put it as high as he can be and chased hard by Rio Dyer. Perfectly placed just outside of the 22, but Freddie Stewart has been solid under the high ball today, and he has done it once more. And Wales make errors at critical times, unfortunately. So here's Brian and Skipper, their elite bow. Boat their ears de kick him on. There's Richard. Are you sure you've been drinking, Richard? Because I would say that without alcohol, that's just a normal sentence. You missed what Marco said. And what's the score? Says Melly at the moment is 16 points to 14 after 74 minutes. Oops, says Richard. And apparently it's a young team, says Lord Inquisitor. For Wales it is. They've got 7 changes as well. I'm looking for Marco's and I'm not seeing it. Where is it? Marco unloading his gooey man milk on your okay, fair enough. This is stressful, says Fafian. Going to be kicked high now. Taken cleanly by Freddie Stewart again under the high ball. Now Danny Kerr going to the short side. Freeman hasn't had a huge amount of opportunities to run the ball. George Ford, good hands right on the fingertips. Now Freddie Stewart, he's already done brilliantly under the high ball. Can he help them get one last strike? George Ford, inside ball, through to the leg drive of Theo Dan. Now Danny Kerr across once more. Ball is loose, picked up well by Dingwall. Penalty to Wales in the breakdown for not releasing. Warren Gatland needs to retire from head coach, to be honest. Wales are not doing nothing. This game is over, and even a drop goal would do it. It is true. And keep positive, says B, and we're on the field, says Johan. So 22 metres out from their own line now. Wales have got themselves the penalty with only 4 minutes left on the clock. And where's Ian Foster going next, as no team picked him up? Not at this stage, no. So I don't know where he's going to end up, to be honest, or even if he wants to go into more coaching. There's another big yawn. And Hamish Rose says, Michelle, welcome in, mate. And let's go, steal it at the last, says Lord Inquisitor, and they all but did that in their game up against Scotland, the Welsh, scoring try after try in that second half. And in the end, they were just that 1 point short. The suspense is killing me. I hope it lasts, says Justin, Ian Foster coach, Manurewa, our high school first 15, perhaps. Now, Kieran Hardy. Any more mistakes from Wales and you'd almost say it is over. Just 3 minutes left. Kieran Hardy almost going through, but I should mention Wales are actually playing this game with currently 14 men on the field. If they're somehow able to get back into this contest, even if it's by winning a penalty, looks like at the moment, Alex Cole's almost got himself in trouble. Now, back in the pocket was Lloyd. Doesn't decide to kick it, instead does run the ball. Hamish Rose, 7:30 AM in New Zealand local time. If you're not wrong, that is correct. Now Kieran Hardy, back across to the right. Nick Tompkins finds the offload to George North. Just hangs on to it. And howdy doodly, everyone. And come on, boys, says B. And there, but currently 2.5 minutes remaining in the chat. Do let me know who's winning this game. Will it be England or Wales? Both sides are only a penalty kick away from closing out the contest. That's going to be held up now. England with the rolling maul. The ball is out there, though, for the Welsh, just managing to rock it out the back. And England need to show discipline here, tackle, but don't contest. Give away the penalty. Rush defence there from the English. And now Ben Earl wanted to go for the ball. Doesn't get the turnover. England, says Johan. George North on the halfway line, up to 14 phases. The English not really allowing too many extra metres to be made. But Wales need a nice set play again. Wales need to beat England, says BMX. For the last 90 seconds of the contest now almost. Aaron Wainwright, big shot and in by Maro Atoja. In fact, it's it's Cunningham South. Did have that ball. George North tackled low by Alice Genge. They're still inside of their own half here, Wales. Rush defence, win it. Gets the pass on the outside now. Goes out to Tane Basham. And then going TMO, game-changing decision to rip it away from Wales. Says Razor into the breakdown. England going for it. They don't get the turnover. 20 minutes of referee clips pondering a penalty decision. Little chip in behind. I don't know if that was the choice. England take the ball back. And now Stewart, he chips it as well. Going for the chip and chase. And it just keeps curling towards the touchline. Aaron Wainwright, the man who showed more intent, and gets the ball back for Wales. But they are now inside of their 22. They have lost about 40 metres since starting their attack. But a bit of a brain fade, I think, for both sides there, going for the chips. Now another big carry forward for Will Rowlands. I think his knee was down. He got back up to his feet. Could have got penalised there. Now back across. Wales cross kick. No, not the idea. Rio Dyer's taken it, but he's in touch. He's run out of space. And that'll just about be the game, ladies and gentlemen. Dyer's saying he was taken out in the air. He was already in the touchline. I don't know what Nick Tompkins is yelling about. I think he's trying to say once again he was taken out in the air. Yeah, well, George Ford made a little tiny bit of contact with him. George North, still a bulldozer. Okay, sounds like they're going to have a look at this one. Dyer was going to be going into touch anyway, but they're saying that there's been a little bit of contact made while he's in the air. It might end up being the penalty. Kai Evans now gets to make his way onto the field. So if this, they'll still have a line out anyway. He might get one play. And I am Welsh, says Stephen Priest. And our young Welsh team making some silly errors typical of a young inexperienced side. They'll learn from this. Says Razor, although the game is not over, like I said, there is still a chance that they want to check this one to see if there was contact made in the air. I don't know what the decision is, though, because I don't think we've heard it. Ben Earl gets player of the match for England. Did extremely well throughout that Rugby World Cup too, like they just mentioned, so seems like he's going pretty well. The next big competition, International Ruggers, is a different animal. Going to go make a human sacrifice, says Face Stark. I would recommend not doing that. Wait, who are you going for? You going for Wales or you going for England? Because the game's not over. Looks like it is going to be a line out here for the English. So they did check it, and good game, respect to all, especially the host. You got Rhino Skimbro, respect, says Richard. Yeah, we probably didn't get off on the best start, myself and you, Richard, but you seem all right. He's going for Scotland, says Razor Robinson, but just the last line out now. Theo Dan to throw it in. Wales, I don't understand the tactic of trying to kick that ball, and it's honestly going to cost them in these final moments. The ball is back with Theo Dan. Danny Kerr has got it. He will boot it into touch, and England win this game at 16 points to 14. Richard's all right, says Justin. And also if it ends like this, Wales are 0-2 by 3 cumulative points with 3 bonus points, says Gus. So yeah, even though they have lost this game, Wales, they are still doing relatively well in the points department, definitely because of the fact that they have suffered those 2 defeats in total. But nonetheless, the win goes the way of England. They have once again snuck a close victory. Toje's got the smile on his face. GG, says Stephen. And the Irish are going to wallop these teams. Of course, neither side have played Ireland as of yet. The next game for the English, I believe, is up against Scotland, if I am correct. And the next game that is coming up here for... England. Yeah, England and Scotland. And then, I believe, for Wales, the next game is up against... it is up against the Irish. So a big game around the corner. That is in 2 weeks' time. Ladies and gents, we're all cool. Excuse my fanatic big mouth, larger attitude. I lecture in Oxford. Now, it's real funny, says Richard. And thanks so much, great content, says McCallum. And I do apologise once again, ladies and gentlemen, for the Wi-Fi cutting out a couple times throughout this live stream. Of course, we don't plan for technical difficulties, but I'm glad that we were able to get it back running within a relatively quick time frame. An awesome job, Amish. Thanks for today. And also we have got, after these 2 dismal games today, the Irish should get the Grand Slam by default, and the rest of the tournament needs to be called off, says Rugby. And there as well. But of course, we will be scheduling that Ireland versus Italy live stream very soon on the channel, ladies and gents. So be sure to keep an eye out for that one. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. 3 p.m. in the Northern Hemisphere tomorrow is when that next match will be taking place. But we have also got a cricket live stream prior to that between Australia and the West Indies. That is going to be starting at 9 p.m. New Zealand time. So 8 a.m. for you guys in the Northern Hemisphere. But thank you all very much for tuning in. I will see you all for the next one.